Good morning. Call the Wednesday morning, November 15th Criminal Justice Committee meeting to order. Start with roll call, please.
Mr. Hess?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Fairfield? Mr. Tholen? Mr. Carrico? Mr. Eckhoff?
Present.
Mr. Hunter?
Present.
Ms. Turner?
Present.
Ms. Monday?
Present.
Ms. Andrade? Ms. Armour Earps?
Present.
Mr. Minikemi?
Present.
Mr. Scanlon? Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Alexander Hildebrand? We have a quorum.
Okay. I have not received anything for public comment. Is there any public comment at this time? Any public comment? I'd like to take a motion to amend the agenda and move Miss Cianci from the circuit clerk's office down to after the coroner's office. She's on her way. Mr. Hunter, second by Ms. Turner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from October 11th, 2023. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Long. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next is the Chief Judge Cunnington.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, after over a year of waiting, we have been able to get our technology grant that we got over a year ago to modernize the courtrooms. We've got that installation going. They started actually out at the jail redoing the VA rooms, which are the connections to the courtrooms, and there's two at each jail, the old jail, new jail. So those have been installed, and then last week they did the installation in courtroom 109. Yesterday afternoon they started in 200, and we will work through all 9 courtrooms. They're taking about a week per courtroom to get that installed, and that will be a new system to connect the courthouse with the jail. It will also be an evidence presentation aid for trials to show the jury what's going on. Similar to here, actually I think the TV screens are a little bit bigger, but there'll be 2 screens in each courtroom, and the attorneys can throw up their exhibits, things like that. There's even a monitor on the witness stand where the witness can annotate what's up on the screen. If they want to draw a line or describe an accident scene or something like that, they can draw on that monitor, and everyone in the courtroom can see it. And this was paid for by a grant from the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts. So that's going very well so far. And then the second thing, the Safety Act continues to be a challenge for us in scheduling. Some of the detention hearings are taking 2 and 3 hours, not per hearing, but I know Monday we had 23 custodies on the list. Now some of those get released, some of them get held over, but the ones that do go to detention hearings, a lot of times they're taking 2 and 3 hours, which interferes with the judges that are doing the detention hearings. It interferes with their schedule. We schedule our afternoons 3 and 4 months in advance, whether it's jury trials or bench trials or motions to suppress, things like that are usually done in the afternoon. So all the judges are already scheduled. So we're juggling to get those detention hearings in, but we are doing what we're supposed to do. So, any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
State's Attorney's Office. Mr. Coughlin, in the package you have a copy of the grand jury report and the grand jury statistics report. Take a motion to combine and approve them. Ms. Monday, second by Mr. Long. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
Wonderful.
If anybody's got any questions on the report, I'll be happy to answer anything. Other than that, pretty much the same old thing.
Any questions? Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I have a question for you
Yes.
before.
Yes, sir.
I had a constituent call me and wanted me to ask this in an open meeting. With the Safety Act that's going on, is there any recourse for a person if somebody is not detained and they have another incident and it hurts a family member or something like that? Can they sue either the governor or the legislatures for passing this bill?
Well, you can sue anybody you want, but you're not gonna win on that. It's, they passed the bill. The only way that you can really do anything about it is at the ballot box.
The ballot box. Okay. That was his question, and I told him I would do it, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Rowe? Or Mr. Cogden, sorry. Okay, up next, Mr. Pennewick. In your package, you have a copy of his monthly report. Take a motion to approve that. Ms. Turner, and second by Ms. Monday. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Mr. S. I got nothing to report, so if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Or I have no comments regarding my report either.
Any questions or comment on Mr. Pennewick's report? Mr. Oh.
Not the report.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything for us, sir?
I have nothing to report.
Have you filled your vacancies yet?
You know what? We got a grant, not a grant, it's a allotment from the state, a substantial amount of money. I've got someone starting December 1st, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm good. I'm good until further notice. If someone wants to,
Is that full-time?
yes. If anyone wants to increase my budget, by all means do so, but there is absolutely, at this point, this is as good as it's been since I've been here, so I'm very comfortable with my staff and where we're at right now.
Good. Miss Monday had a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, as I look at this every month, I just take a quick, overview, but I am curious, like using this month as an example, are there attorneys on here that are no longer with you, like Locke, who doesn't have hardly any cases there, or, well, Regas, I guess, has a few. But I mean, when we see someone with just a small number of cases, why is that?
Mr. Locke just started.
Oh,
Actually, I
okay.
hired a gentleman named Mr. Jones with the old COVID money. He had other commitments, so he couldn't stay with the office, so he only worked for me for like 6 weeks, and then I had to hire Mr. Locke. He just started.
Okay, all right, good.
And then, like you noticed, like it's all areas of expertise or fields. Like Neely does juvenile. That's why you look at the juvenile column. She's got all the juvenile cases. She's got no felony cases. So yeah,
Okay.
they all got their little niches. So that's pretty much. I do my best to spread the wealth or spread the workload as best as I can. But there's a lot of specialization. Juvenile court, you need 4 to 5 attorneys there: mother, father, child, guardian ad litem. So those people have to be in juvenile court. I can't have them do other things within the office. It's just not enough time. So, yeah, there's definitely some degree of thought process behind it, but just some.
That's fine, thank you. I was just kind of curious, because like I said, once in a while I notice, gosh, they don't have hardly anything this month. What are they doing?
Yeah.
What's the deal there?
They'll get it.
So, okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Hunter?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Ed, I got a comment. You heard the Chief Judge indicate that the Safety Act poses a challenge. From your observation, your experience, could you identify some of the vicissitudes that impact your shop?
I mean, I've personally done the call on a couple of occasions, including, I think it was Monday. If not Monday, definitely, it was Monday. By law, we had the opportunity and the duty to talk to the client prior to the hearing. So at 1:45, we start calling the clients, or 12:30, we start calling the clients. We also get the police reports from the prosecutor's office. So basically, we are preparing substantively. We have to learn everything about the case in 45 minutes with multiple clients. Like the Judge Cunnington said, there was how many up Monday. We can only see them once we get, but we can only start talking to them until we get the reports, because if we don't have the reports, what's the point of talking to somebody about what they, what happened? We wouldn't know what happened. So first we have to read the reports, and we have to call the clients, and then we have to go to hearing. So it is a real time crunch. There's really not much that can be done about that. mean, the state's attorneys get the reports when they get the reports. They can only do so much, so we can't talk to them until they get the reports. The jail's been phenomenal, allowing us access to the clients, so I appreciate that. The state's been doing their best to get me the reports, but from about 12:15 till 3 o'clock, 3:30, we have one person dedicated, where before it would literally be a 20-minute hearing. You know, you go on a 1:30 afternoon call, and you'd be out of there by 1:45, you know, and now it's completely changed. So yes, it's a substantial increase in the amount of work that has to be done within the office.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you, Ed.
All right, thank you.
Up next, probation, Mr. Latham. In your pack, you have a copy of his monthly report. Take a motion to approve that. Mr. Long, second by Ms. Ritmedick Emming.
Good morning.
Good morning. Comments on your report, Tom?
No comments on the report unless someone has a question.
Any questions on the report?
In a couple, well, I guess in January we'll give totals for the year and compare it to other years. So we can...
No questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I don't have anything. You know, I talked most of this time about vacancies, and I'll end the year talking about vacancies. We still have them. However, pretrials can be taken over by the state, as I've talked to you before about. That's going to help with our vacancies in the short term, because we're going to lose those positions that are open. But our challenge next year will be attracting applicants. And I feel like we tried just about everything, but we'll think of something else just to try to, because we're going to obviously have people leave throughout the year, you know, as we go forward. So that's what I'll probably be reporting on as we move into next year, is how we can get people to apply.
I forgot to ask the chief judge, do we have housing for the pretrial people yet?
Well, that's being worked out right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it'll be
being worked out.
finalized in the next month or so. So they're hoping to take it over and start. It was December. I think it's going to be more January, February.
I
But
thought
still-
they were looking for office space.
They are
in that.
right now,
Okay.
but right now they're hiring people. They're looking for space. They're starting to put it all together. I think it'll be, their timetable's always a lot quicker than I think it's going to be, but I think it's going to be more January, February, which is still pretty quick. So huge help for us.
Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to just kind of picture your department after pretrial is going.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any of your employees now that are with pretrial, or is that kind of sitting out there you can't hire for it? Is that?
Well, yeah, you can't hire. I mean, it's tricky for that part of it. Like we have, you know, we're going to lose 4 positions. We have 5 open. So
That's what I was wondering. There's going to
yeah.
be nobody to come back and fill an open position.
So everybody in my office now will stay there.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and then they'll be hiring brand new. So, and we kind of had to have that situation for it to work, because to lay off for pretrial to take over would have caused issues.
Yeah.
You know, so
And so they're doing the hiring.
that's all them. Yeah.
It's we don't no expectation here. So when
Nope.
you say hiring, that's them. It's
That's
not
them.
you.
That's all them
Okay.
in the process now. They're communicating with me and stuff like that. Just to give me.
I'll get asked when I go upstairs.
Yeah.
That's why I want to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No, that's
There's
all
someone
them.
who will want to know.
It's all them.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions? Mr. Hunter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Tom, yesterday I attended a program at Duane Dean, Recon Family Services, and they had an informational venue, well attended, for a solar program. They're trying to train folks that look like me in a program. They'll pay for the training, wraparound services, daycare, transportation, all that stuff. And I was thinking that you probably would have been a valuable resource if you had that information and referred some of your clients.
Mhm.
I don't think you were even contacted, were you?
I wasn't aware of it. No,
Okay, thank you.
but I can reach out and contact them.
Yeah, but I got a name, the guy who's running the program, but I just thought, I said, man, you know, it's a good turnout, but, you know, it seems like when a person's working, they don't have time to be involved in maladaptive behavior. They get a paycheck, they can buy a car, they can rent an apartment, they can buy a house, they can take care of their family. And I would think that one of the problems with your folks, I would assume, they need to be gainfully employed.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll give you that information.
Okay, and I'll reach out right away.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Steve.
Any totals yet on the drug court auction?
Yeah, they just got them yesterday. It was lighter this year because they had that mailing issue that a lot of invitations didn't go to the right people, right places. I didn't even get one in the mail home. So it was kind of, I just knew about it, but it's, they had a big issue which kind of cut back on the turnout a little bit. It was smaller, but the amount they made, they were happy with.
Good.
It was in the ballpark of a little less, but close enough to what the average totals they usually.
Good.
So with that and the drug court grant that we have for another 5 years, it really,
Good.
should be good. Good spot. So
Any other questions for Tom? Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Up next, the sheriff. In the package, you have a copy of the sheriff's monthly report. Take a motion to approve that by Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Carrico. Morning, sir. Comments on your report?
Good morning. Yeah, the monthly report, I think it's important to note, and I know everybody asks about the Safety Act to everybody that's been up here and how it affects us. I can tell you that last October, our average of local inmates for the year was 225. Right now, our average for the month of October is 208. So it's down significantly, a 7.5% decrease. So obviously it's going to have some effect on what's going on out on the street. Some of you may have seen the news where the Cook County Jail, which historically has held as many as 12 to 15,000 inmates, is down below 5,000. So, and you wonder why things are going on in Chicago. So a little shameless plug for the chief judge and the transporting of inmates and the chaos that is happening at the courthouse in the afternoons with the judges trying to juggle their schedules. That works the same with us. Our jail, while we're doing these detention hearings that, as Mr. Pennewick said, start about 12:45, where the detainees are trying to talk to their lawyers because that's what they have to do based on the Safety Act. Our correctional officers are moving inmates all around the jail, trying to get to court in the VA at the jail. I believe it's March, Judge, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had 6 months that the Illinois Supreme Court gave us to do these by video. After March, these detainees are supposed to be transported over to the courthouse, which will create a bigger burden on everybody. Obviously, the officer safety issue, the courthouse issues, the judges issues, the correction staff issues, there will be all kinds of stuff unless we are able to continue to do that via video. So we'll continue to work on that. I'm not sure how the judges feel about that, continuing on video, but it would be beneficial for everybody if we can continue to do that by video.
What about transportation back and forth?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'll be staff that'll transport back and forth to the jail. Court wants to move in a timely manner. They want to be as efficient as they possibly can, and they're relying on us to make sure that the people who are supposed to be in court are in court, and that is going to be a problem come March.
I was thinking like van, or we use a bus?
It depends on the numbers. I mean, we can probably use 2 vans. I think Chief Judge mentioned Monday the court call was well over 25, I believe.
That's what I was thinking.
To bring all those individuals over. is going to create significant staffing issues, create significant safety issues, and
Create
you know, the-
overtime issues.
additional overtime issues. Yes.
Miss Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sheriff, I'm sorry if I missed it, who makes the final decision on whether or not that's video versus in person?
I'm not sure. Maybe the chief judge can talk about that. Yeah, the Illinois Supreme Court is
Okay.
the one who allowed us to do that. There is some language in the Safety Act that we might be able to work around. It's a discussion we'll have with Judge Cunnington to hope that continues.
Thank you.
Miss Earps.
What's the ratio of inmates to officers bringing them over to the courthouse?
That depends on the numbers of transports we have. Most times, we'll bring 4 or 5 over in a van. We'll bring 2 officers, plus we have the deputies who are at the courthouse as well. So, but they are handcuffed and shackled, so.
I figured that.
Even I could catch them if they're shackled.
Oh, I don't know.
Couple things, we've continued to run data because I know that's what drives everything, and this is a list of that we printed out through our booking software, and this is through November 1st. There's 311 people arrested who have been brought to jail, and of those 311, 31 were remanded, which means 31 were kept in jail. The other 280 plus were released. So if that gives you some idea, that's so basically about 9.9% of those being arrested are being released, or are being detained. The rest are being released. And again, when you know the judge's hands are tied, the state's attorney's hands are tied, because there's 2 ways to hold them. Either they're a danger to themselves or the community, or they're a flight risk. And I know you've already been, Mr. Rowe has talked numerous times about trying to prove somebody's a flight risk. You can't do it. Not showing up to court 10 times is not considered a flight risk. So whether they're a danger to themselves or their community is that's a judgment that is out of our hands, but in some cases it is the discretion, and the decisions are taken away from the judges. So our transports for juveniles are down for the year. We got one, I think we have 1 month left in the fiscal year. Basically, the criteria to hold an inmate in River Valley when they commit certain offenses, the criteria says they can't be detained, and so therefore they go back to wherever it is they live, instead of going to secure detention where they probably belong. So on the patrol side, our accidents are down this year, which is good. Our written warnings are up, our citations are up, which obviously make for safer roads. And our fatal accidents this year are down 43%. So those are positive things. At the bottom of the page, the revenue estimating for November, we are looking at averaging this year about $941,000 per month in inmate housing. Compare that to 2022, where we averaged $724,000 a month, in 2021, where we averaged $662,000 a month. So that the legislature's elimination of us housing for ICE hasn't hurt us, and so we continue to. I've said this before. I don't know for the new members, maybe not, but there's only so many beds we have, so there's only so much revenue we can bring in. And we're at about the top end. So that probably won't increase very much in the coming years, unless we build out the shell. But that's so. And I would also ask that you remember that with the additional revenue comes additional cost. It's not just all money. It includes additional food. It includes medical. It includes transports. It includes staffing. It includes overtime. And as we've talked before, much like the problem nationwide, our jail is not staffed to where it should be. So obviously we have overtime to make sure we keep our staff safe. So our current staff of corrections is 113. We should be around a minimum 120, probably 125. So that's all I got on the report.
Any questions on the report, Ms. Monday?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question, because I keep meaning to ask you this when I run into you, and then I keep forgetting, so I'm just going to do it right now. The inmate telephone fees,
Yes.
what is that about?
So if you come into our jail, obviously with the Safety Act, you get 3 phone calls
Right.
that are free phone calls. That's required by the Safety Act. And then the inmate telephone there is revenue that comes in based on them either purchasing phone cards or purchasing phone time or calling collect. And we get a percentage of that money. Some of it goes to the county.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
That's a lot that
Yeah.
comes to us.
Yep.
Perfect.
Too much for some. There are advocates out there saying that phone calls are too expensive and that they should be free. So
Oh.
I look for that to change probably within the next couple of years, based on where our legislature is. So,
Mr. Hunter?
Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman. Sheriff Downey, a couple questions. First one, what's the timeline regarding the relationship we have with Champaign County? And also, I think you brought up a situation with the Rat Pack involving a K-Meg, et cetera. You guys did that raid, and you got I don't know how many bad guys, but within a matter of hours, those guys were released. The ones that you guys apprehended. Any other horrendous situations like that can you refer to that has happened recently since the Safety Act?
well, some of you probably saw the press release that went out with the 2 carjackers. They carjacked a car in Chicago. They wrecked their car on Interstate 57 in Kankakee County. The state police responded, we responded, and our deputies actually got the 2 guys in custody, and both were released the next day. So now there's obviously more to it than that, just that simple explanation, but
Bottom line.
they should be in jail.
That's where the question stemmed from.
Right.
That my constituent wanted to,
Right. We've had a number of individuals, and we'll have better numbers for you as we continue to watch this, but and monitor this. But we've had a couple people in who've committed, since the Safety Act came into effect, a minimum of 3 retail thefts from businesses who come in and go home. And that hurts business, and that hurts all of us, because the businesses suffer, and then they pass along the cost to all of us.
Yep. Mr. Wheeler? Oh, go ahead.
Champaign County.
Oh, I'm sorry. Champaign County right now is status quo. They are currently, so they closed their satellite jail, which was the main reason that we started with housing for them. My understanding from talking to Champaign is that they are adding on to their downtown facility, but the number of beds that they add on will still not be enough for what they have being housed out of county. So timeline, I'm guessing probably within a year or so still, but we'll continue to monitor that.
Chairman Wheeler?
Thank you. Sheriff, I don't know if it breaches of confidence you may have with other law enforcement, but we had talked about the carjacking situation. and what law enforcement in the city is facing in that regard? Are you able to relay just like the perspective on how many cases they're looking at?
Well, that's a great question, Mr. Chairman, because I actually have it in my notes to talk
Okay.
about a little later.
Okay.
If you,
Okay.
Nada?
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the monthly report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. IDOC and U.S. Marshal annual inspection.
Yeah, we had both our IDOC, which is the Illinois Department of Corrections annual inspection, and the U.S. Marshal inspection, which they come and inspect us as well to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to. The Department of Corrections is who oversees us, the Jail and Detention Standards Unit, and they have a long list of things that they make sure we're doing based on the Illinois County Jail Standards. While we haven't got the results yet, we are fairly positive that everything went fine. They always find a couple things every once in a while just to let us know they're still there, but for the most part, everything went well. One of the things they got us on was in our food storage area, the boxed food is supposed to be up on pallets. So, and it normally is, but it wasn't that day. So, if that's the worst we did, we're pretty happy about that. Credit to our jail administration and our correction staff for the job they do. So,
Any questions or comments on that? NCCHC accreditation program.
Yeah, so the NCCHC stands for the National Commission on Correctional Healthcare. We have been accredited with the National Commission on Correctional Healthcare since 2014. They recently came, I believe, at the end of August and did their inspection. And I can tell you from going through all the inspections we had with ICE and all our IDOC inspections and U.S. Marshal inspections, the NCCHC is the most difficult because it's so important. We've said all along that correctional health care is a public health issue, and our goal is to make sure that somebody who comes in who has issues leaves better than when they walked in our door. And our medical staff, I can't talk about them enough and what a job they do for what they're dealing with. You have to understand that a lot of these individuals that come into our custody don't take care of themselves on the street, and so it's really up to us to provide that treatment for them. And our medical staff wants to make sure that they are better when they leave than when they walked in our door. So, and you probably all heard me say this before, that those in custody in Kankakee County get better medical care than anybody in this room. So credit to our medical staff and what they do. It is a rigorous process for 2.5 days, and they get questioned on everything, documentation, procedures, everything, and they did an outstanding job, and we are accredited again for another 3 years. So, and it's more of a best practices thing. It helps us in litigation. If somebody sues us for a medical issue, it assists us that way as well. So it's very beneficial for not only for us, but obviously for the county as well. So,
Any questions for the sheriff? Anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Mr. Wheeler asked me a question a little bit. So the Safety Act really is exactly what we thought it would be. There are those out there that think the Safety Act is the greatest thing since sliced bread. However, there are people who are out in our community and all over the state of Illinois who should be locked up. And that is a safety issue for every citizen in the state of Illinois. Couple examples. Most of you are aware that the state of Illinois has a sex offender registration, that individuals convicted of certain sex crimes have to register as a sex offender. According to Mr. Rowe, because we've talked a number of times about it, failing to register is non-detainable. So I guess the question one would ask would be, what would be the motivation to register? I don't know. Mr. Wheeler asked about the carjackings. You know, carjackings, we have become so numb because the Chicago News, it's on the Chicago News. I don't think you can turn on the Chicago newscast without seeing at least one carjacking. And I think we have come to the point where it's like ho-hum, another carjacking, and it's ho-hum until it happens to you. And so the frustration level from a law enforcement perspective is, what do we do with these people? Like I said, the ones who jacked the car in Chicago and we got in Manteno, they're out. What's the consequences? Yeah, I mean, and we knew this. I mean, we knew that the Safety Act was going to be a frustration for law enforcement. Because not only are we continuing to deal with the same people over and over and over who aren't in jail, that is a safety issue for every police officer, law enforcement officer in the state of Illinois, and it is a safety issue for every resident of the state of Illinois as well. And I don't know if a trailer bill, Mr. Hunter, is going to fix it. Until we start giving the judges complete discretion to hold whoever the heck they want based on what they have. I don't want to hold them just to hold them. They've earned being held. And we can't do it. The judges can't do it. Their hands are tied. And until there's accountability, until there's consequences, this is going to continue. And the question is, at what cost? At whose life is this going to cost? And that's what law enforcement deals with every day. They're carjacking now in broad daylight. The vice president's granddaughter just got carjacked with Secret Service people. I mean, good Lord. So it's not just we're not just talking about somebody who got carjacked and they became a victim. This is statewide. It's actually nationwide, because as a country we have just become numb to this, and now it's just a part of everyday life. Well, that's not the life I want. But fleeing and eluding, more and more. There is no motivation for somebody to stop for a traffic stop, because there are no consequences. You can't hold them on a fleeing, eluding. So the question becomes, why stop? So then what happens? Then officers get into a pursuit. Now, if it's a simple traffic stop, we can't pursue. And everybody knows this. Once it becomes an aggravated fleeing and eluding, then that's a different thing. But again, at what cost? Whose car is going to get run into by this person fleeing and eluding? So, I mean, until there are consequences, these are going to continue, and it's going to get worse. So, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not like we haven't been saying this for 2 years.
Correct.
And the last thing I'll say, and I know, Mr. Hunter, you always ask about Senator Sims. I will tell you that following his social media post on my account, he indicated that he would talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. We have reached out to him since that post. It's been 3 months, and he has failed to come and meet with the police chiefs. I know that's a big shock to everybody, but he doesn't have to. There's a supermajority, and nothing's going to change. So,
Miss Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say, I'm sure I speak for this whole room that, we so appreciate all of you and can sense the frustration that we feel too for you and your team for what you're going through. So
it's, our department, I mean, it's, I'm sure every chief would tell you that's what you lose sleep about.
Yeah.
is worrying about your staff. Every time something happens, that's the first thing you think about. And that's where we're at. And like I said, Gordon Graham, a former state California highway patrolman who's very big into risk management, his famous quote is, if it's predictable, it's preventable. Well, I think we've proven that this has been predictable for the last 2 years. And so, you know, the only thing is now we can't prevent it because they won't allow us to. So I apologize for
Be safe.
ranting, but can't help it. All right.
I know.
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Hunter, hang on.
Hold on, Sheriff, let me just mention this. Like to piggyback on what Peggy Sue indicated, you know, having been in this ballgame for ever and a day.
Longer than that.
Yeah, right. It's like what I appreciate, and I'm not blowing smoke or anything, but it's we articulate questions and you guys respond. And I maintain when I pose questions, it's a learning experience for all these legislators. So it's not adversarial. I don't
No,
think
not
it
at
is.
all.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
adversarial. But when you gain information, you're a better legislator, and you can also impart that to your constituents. When people call you, you know, you can give them a reasonable response based upon the information that you guys provide to us. I appreciate it. I mean, I tell you, it's not adversarial, and I'm repeating myself, but it's really interesting because you're learning a lot here. I mean, sometimes these are like 400 and 500 level reports that you guys give us, and I love it because I'm better suited to serve my constituents and other people. When you have discussions with other folks from different jurisdictions, you can share stuff. I remember this is back when I was an alderman. Green and I would go to the National League of Cities conventions, and they're, you know, national conventions, and there's different things that we were doing in the city, certain things that you guys are doing now too. You impart that to other constituencies in different towns and stuff, and they think, wow, you know, you guys are ahead of the game. You think in terms of the relationship law enforcement has with NAACP every other month. You know, guys, we sit down with the cops from everywhere, all over the county, sometimes Iroquois, and talk about stuff. We pose questions to them, we interface with them, we deal with employment, we deal with the camcorders and all the other stuff. NAACP goes to view videos when complaints are filed. And, you know, that doesn't happen in other jurisdictions in terms of you working together with law enforcement. You know, make sure everybody's on the same page. Transparency is really important with the community and the cops. You know, that saves a lot of problems when you can trust what the cops tell you, or you see the video about what transpires, or you call Chad, or you call the sheriff, hey man, we heard this and that and so forth, and they'll give you the straight answer. You know, no bullshit at all, but just real facts.
Beep, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that countywide, including the Illinois State Police, the Kankakee County, I've said this 100 times, is so blessed because we all work together. It's not a competition. It's about doing what's right for everybody. And we are fortunate in this community because it's not like that in every community. And I appreciate that, Mr. Hunter. I will also tell you that you contacted me on November 3rd. You actually called me at about, I want to say it was about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I didn't answer. And it was regarding the issue that happened at the courthouse. You ended up talking to the undersheriff. I was in the middle of my son's wedding.
Oh,
So,
well,
so
you had your
I
priorities.
couldn't answer. My wife is a very patient lady. She would not have been happy with that one. So I apologize, but I know it got taken care of. So
I thought so.
thank you.
She has to be a patient lady. Up next, Animal Control, Carrie Larry. In package, you have a copy of her monthly report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Long, second by Miss Monday. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning. So I have nothing really to report on the report. It's pretty much the same as last year, so we're doing decently except for our impoundment's a little bit down, but our income's still same as it was last year.
Any questions on the report? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Are you still full?
Always, yeah. A little update about our building. So it is coming along spectacularly. They have the roof on. They're doing the shingles, I think, pretty quickly. They were there yesterday. Painters were there yesterday. Concrete was being poured, and what do they do with that? So it looks great. We're very excited. They assure us that we're right on time. In fact, maybe even a little bit sooner than we anticipated. So they gave us the date of June. Now they think it could be earlier than that. So hopefully it'll be earlier than that, which would be great.
Any other questions for Carrie? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Herbst.
What about the people that you cited last time we had a meeting in regards to the Hall Mountain?
There is an update, and Miss Gowdy has some update for you. She's going to send an email, or Kelly will this afternoon. So there is a little bit of an update on that. So.
Thank you. Up next, Coroner's Office, Mr. Gessner. In the package, you have a copy of his monthly report and the monthly receipts of money. Take a motion to combine and approve them by Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Hunter. Good morning.
Oh, boy.
Comments on your report, sir?
No comments. It's kind of a slow month, as you can see, coming down October on this particular sheet here.
Yep.
Actually, I just telling Chief Deputy back there, I told him here we only had 2 autopsies in the month of October, but we got 2 this morning already. Plus a number of Narcan saves that were out there too, also that could have been into the autopsy. But other than that, I'll take any questions that we have. It's pretty well self-explanable, I think.
Any questions? Have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What else, sir?
Other than the ODs are at a hold right now, I think a lot of work that a lot of people, as far as hit the county pretty heavy with the fentanyl. We've been down on that. Cocaine, like I talked to you, has been back a little bit more often than it was before. It's a cheaper drug, and meth also. We've had a number of Narcan saves by the police officers, which is, to some people, they don't think we should use Narcan, but yet it saves lives, Other than that, everything still stays the same. We're at 28. I know we have an overdose this morning that we're going to be doing here in just a few minutes. Other than that, we should probably be over the 30 mark, which is way under from what we were.
Yeah, that's for sure. Any questions for the coroner? Ms. Herbst?
Do we have Narcan in the high schools or any of the?
Could you pull your mic over?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we have any in the high school on Narcan, just in case there's an incident at high school?
There are in a lot of the nurses' stations, stuff like that, we are continually would bring a Narcan out there to any of the and be able to teach it. Not a problem at all. Doesn't take that long.
Okay, thank you. And then one other quick question. I know there's been media on COVID out at the Veterans Hospital. Have you seen anything out that direction in regards to deaths?
No.
Okay, thank you.
One other thing that yesterday we've been working. My chief deputy has been working with what they call NamUs, which is a group that we send our missing persons to. If we find a body and we can't find any results on that, we bury them and we record it where they're at. Last week when I was on vacation, Eric got a call from NamUs I think they might have a hit on a body we had in 2002. So yesterday, myself and somebody else over here helped exhume a body. The head wise, it's been sent off already, so hopefully we can bring some good word to somebody about their family we've now discovered it. So we have a number of them. I don't know the exact number we have, but we know where everybody is in case the family does come. You know, we bury them in the right spots and record it in several different places where they're at. So it was very easy to do yesterday, and I hope that comes through. And my congratulations to Eric for what he did.
Thank you.
You know,
Mr. Hunter.
yeah, just another comment. You know, you guys work as a team. You know, there's, you know, Theodis and I always talk about there's no I in team, but you guys work well together, and we appreciate that as legislators. A lot of times we don't say anything, but sometimes silence is consent to the good job that you guys are doing, and I appreciate you and Roe are, you know, I don't know how to even describe you guys. I mean, you guys are brothers, and you guys are tight at the hips, and the other department heads as well too. You guys work together in a collaborative way, and I think, you know, we as constituents and legislators are proud to work with you guys because you do one hell of a job. Empirically, you provide us information, stuff. When we make phone calls to you, you respond. In fact, you know, you give us more than what we ask for sometimes, and we appreciate that.
I think, like the sheriff said, we work well with all law enforcement in this whole community. We have the opportunity to work with all of the on deaths and stuff like that. So we're as it is, it's part of a team there. We're thankful that we'll be recognized by law enforcement, even though we are law enforcement, but yet not the way they are. So, but I appreciate that comment. Appreciate that very much.
Facts and data don't lie.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Up next, Ms. Cianci. In your package, you have a copy of Sandy's monthly report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Eckhoff, second by Ms. Earps. All in favor? Oh, hang on. Sorry.
What's the matter?
I'm trying to get in a hurry.
Oh, that's all right. Hi. Thank you for allowing me to
Welcome
change
back,
my
by the way.
location. Thank you.
Comments on your report?
No, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions on the report?
Very
All in
good.
favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So I don't know if the judge spoke about our computer project, but it's going very well. We're right on schedule. Tyler, people are happy with everything that we're doing, keeping up with, so that's really good. We're starting the financial configurations after the first of the year. The gal that is assigned to us for the project, she's doing a lot of go lives in other areas, and so she's been assigning my people their duties, and then she checks in with them. So things, you know, she's not right with us all the time. So she kind of left them alone for about a week or two while she was doing the go live, and but things are going well.
Good. Questions? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any old business to come before the committee? Any old business? Any new business? Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This morning we talked a lot about the additional risk to our population and to our police officers and correctional officers, and I just wanted to remind people that, and I didn't do my due diligence in October to remind us that Officer Sanfey passed away October 1997, and this month we should celebrate Mr. Will Lewis.
From Bradley.
From Bradley.
Yes. Thank you. Any other new business? Mr. Carrico. Second by Ms. Earps. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.